In the early morning, Ryan stood down to the stairs and headed towards main gate, but a voice stopped her. She knew who owned that deep, cold voice. It's her husband. She wanted to fight, but it didn't happen. He saw her already, and now she had to face him because she can't upset him as she was scared of him. Eat your breakfast. As he said, Ryan turned around, but she didn't dare to look into his eyes because she always felt nervous in his presence. I'm getting late. I will eat something in college canteen, she said, slowly looking everywhere but him, while he was directly looking into her soul, his hands in his pockets. Nothing will get changed into the world if you got a little late. I will drop you. No, I will go with Nico. She blurted out while Jungkook raised his brow at the mention of new name. He didn't hear she had friend whose name is Nico. He looked at his bodyguard who was present there, as he was the one who kept his eyes on Vine's gatherings and friends. Who is Niku? Vine blinked her eyes before scrunching her nose at his question. As she realized it should be a secret, she also looked towards the bodyguard while he looked down at his feet, hands folded back. Nicholson, boss, it's me, Nico. The most trusted person of Jungkook admits that his boss wife gave him that name, while Jungkook gave him a weird look as his bodyguard was a giant thing like a mountain and Ryan gave him nickname. He suddenly felt jealous, thinking why she never called him with nicknames. He's her husband after all, not knowing she already gave him a lot of nicknames. His name is little difficult to pronounce. That's why I call him Nico. She quickly said not wanted him to open his mouth and reveal the real reason behind it to Jungkook, who was already fuming with jealousy. I'm waiting on dining table right now, he said before Vine could say anything and walked towards dining area while Vine huffed, oldie goldie. She murmured and followed him like a obedient kid with a small pout. As she doesn't want to upset him, she always felt nervous around him even though he never scared her nor he showed his ruthless mafia side. But as she knows him, saw him getting angry on others many times, it scared her to death. It made her nervous thinking if she unintentionally make him angry. Her heart was too fragile to handle his anger. Her legs start shaking even if their eyes meet just for a second maybe. It's because of their age difference as he was 28 while she was 19. Their marriage was sudden. It didn't give her time to think, to protest, and even if she had chance, she wasn't going to argue or disobey her father's request. That too last wish. 5 months before Ryan's father, Mr. Kevin, got into a pre-planned accident, it was a murder. He was known as a top successful, respectful businessman in Korea from many years, but his rivals couldn't stand with it. They were involved in illegal activities and wants to be on top list. But in Mr. Kevin's presence, they can't get that position, so they get rid him from their way. Mr. Kevin was in good terms with Jungkook, who was a king of underworld, as he was the only one who was protecting him from other mafias and helping him to know his enemy's next step. But when Mr. Kevin was returning back from abroad, he made an accident. He was badly injured, and in this condition, he couldn't find anything better than Jungkook, who can protect his only daughter, as he has idea his enemies will harm Ryan after him. So he asked Jungkook to marry Ryan, as he was powerful. No one can think about harming what he is. The day they got married, the next day Mr. Kevin took his last breath. From that day, Ryan was in Jungkook's protection. He was with her like a shadow, not just for a promise with a father, but he was in deeply love with her. His emotions, his feelings were still unspoken, but he promised himself to protect her and respect her till his last breath. After breakfast, Jacob dropped Ryan at her college and went to his office. She was obviously got a little late, but it doesn't matter. Her husband owned that college. No one has guts to say a word to her. But she wasn't proud of that. She was just a girl who only wants love and romance. It not like she doesn't have feelings for him. Jungkook always made her heart go boom boom. His eyes always gave her butterflies whenever she caught him staring at her from head to toe. She felt the thrill of dark romance novel, but the thing is, he never showed any emotions. He never even raised his voice on her. He just stayed calm and silent, but when he said something to her, it felt like he's commanding, he's ordering her. He was like that from the start, tough and hard to understand. Wine, there is no doubt that you are actually a brilliant dancer. I am surprised seeing you gracefully moving on music, she said proudly as Wine sat on the floor after practicing, while Wine smiled, wiping her sweat from her forehead. I'm into this when I was 4, Mia. I actually started liking couple dance because I saw my parents dancing on their favorite songs. They do this to make me happy. I saw them engrossed into each other, their eyes speaking love language. Vine's eyes were sparkling when she was recalling her parents' pure moments, while Mia was smiling, hearing her. She was Vine's only close friend that knows about Vine's life and marriage. How romantic. Now you can recreate your parents' moment with your husband. She said I should nudge Ryan. Oof, don't talk to me about that. Don't you know my husband? I don't think he even know the spelling of being romantic and you are talking about dance. Mia giggled while Maya shook her head as Mia always tries to give Ryan romantic scenarios with Jungkook. Just as they were talking, a guy entered in the practice room. Fine, let's practice one more time. I don't want we lag somewhere. He said as he was Vine's dance partner and was really good in dancing. That's why he chose Vine because she was also popular. Let her rest, Ken. She just finished her practice. It's not like you guys will lose the competition. Everyone knows how good you guys are. Ken looked at Mia knowingly, as he didn't like her interrupting between Ryan and him. He was the kind of guy who only knows winning. He was good at everything and put his all energy into everything he gets involved. It doesn't matter, I don't care what people think. I just want to be the winner, that's it. Let's go, Ryan, he said and walked towards the other corner to play music. It's okay. You know him, right? He's obsessed with winning. Van whispered. He's crazy. You take care of yourself, okay? Mia whispered back as she showed thumbs up to Van before Van stood on her position and they start practicing. Their college held a dance competition. Students are free to choose their partners and if they want they can participate with their boyfriend or girlfriend too, even if they are not from college. Just as Ryan and Ken start their practice third time and Ken spin Ryan, the room echoed with a painful ground because Ryan couldn't able to maintain her balance and she fall down. Mia quickly ran towards Ryan while she was holding her feet, her eyes shut tightly as the pain was killing her. Oh my god, Ryan, your feet start swelling. Can help me. We have to take her to the medical room immediately. She said while Ken signed in disappointment before he helped Mia in taking Ryan to the college medical room. So, Mr. Nicholson, aka Nico, mind telling me what's going on? He asked coldly while Nicholson was looking at his feet. He knows Jungkook will ask him about this and he will not going to hide as he was Jungkook's trusted man. He believes everything related to Ryan should not be hidden from Jungkook. Boss, ma'am was not ready to go with me anywhere. She was giving me hard time from past 2 months. If I stay out of her college, she leaves from back doors and I have to run behind her so I said I will complain to you. Oh, so you threatened her, wow. Nicholson's eyes slightly get widened. No, no, boss. How dare I threat your wife? It's just she was not cooperating with me. I was helpless. I can't do anything. Expect this. When I said I will inform you, she may deal with me. That in return, she will call me Niku. And I have to wear. He was hesitating in revealing more information that made Jungkook curious as what his wife was doing behind his back and making his man dancing on a finger. A small smile appeared on his lips as he leaned on the table. Continue, Nicole. I mean, Nico. He commanded, made poor Nicholson gulp. Sweat formed on his forehead as he noticed hesitantly. I have to wear cartoons hairbands. He quickly blurted out as he felt so embarrassed. His cheeks turned red when he heard Jungkook's chuckle. Wow, impressive, huh? You can go now, but before going out, hide your face. He said while Nicholson nodded and hurriedly rushed out of the office, leaving Jungkook in amusement. The smile didn't leave from his lips as he chuckled. She's cute, but I'm feeling jealous. Why she can't make this type of deal with me and in return I will give her everything she asks for? He thought while watching Ryan's pictures in his gallery. Just then his phone rang and his heart skipped a bit as it was from Ryan. He immediately picked the call and after hearing the news, he rushed towards the hospital. How did this happen? He asked as soon as he reached hospital room where Ryan was admitted, his eyes full with concern, voice low, while Ryan sniffed as she was crying. Please don't cry. Is it paining very much? He asked as he reached out his hand to cup her face while Ryan nodded slowly. made his heart ache, seeing her in pain. Who did this? If someone tried to mess with you, tell me and I will make sure that person never able to stand on his or her feet anymore, he said as his eyes turned dark. But before Ryan said something, Mia spoke. Ken did this. He forced her to practice again and again. Mia, stop it. She tried to stop her, but Mia already done her work. Who is Ken and where is he right now? He asked, looking at Mia as she gulped, seeing him in anger. She silently just pointed towards outside of the room. Jungkook, please stop. She stopped him by holding his hand as he looked at her. Instantly, his expressions got softened. He didn't harm me intentionally. We were just practicing and I fall down. It's not his fault I didn't balance myself, she said in disappointment, her eyes filled with tears while Jungkook sighed. He sat on the edge of the bed as he glanced at her leg wrapped in bandage. It was a head-leg fracture, but now she can't participate. All she have to do is rest. It's okay, don't be upset, Ryan, he said as he noticed the disappointment in her eyes. He knows how much she likes dancing and she wanted to perform. She informed him about the competition as she never hides anything because he was her only guardian and she loves him wholeheartedly. Let's go, I can leave you here. This hospital atmosphere make more sick, he said, and without hearing or giving Ryan moment to think, he just picked her up in his arm, made Mia and Ryan shocked. Mia smiled secretly and followed them while Ryan was looking at him with red cheeks. Her heart was beating so loudly as it was the first time he showed so much care. His actions were careful when he scooped her up in his arms. She felt safe, her heart blooming, swelling with love. The days start to pass like this. Jungkook being around Ryan, taking care of her in everything in these days. She found how much he cared for her and how his cold hard exterior gets softened when he is with her. She could see the emotion in his eyes she never noticed before due to her fear and nervousness. She noticed how Jungkook stopped when she stopped him to scare Ken in the hospital. Jungkook entered in his room only to see Ryan was crying silently. He immediately walked near her, his eyes filled with concern as he sat near her. Why are you crying? He asked, not knowing what exactly happened that made her cry. While Ryan wiped her nose, but she didn't look at him. I can't perform. I want to win that trophy, but I broke my leg. Now, no one wants to be my partner, and it's obvious who wants to perform with a broken leg like me can also find partner. She said while sobbing with Jungkook's heart skip as he felt fear of losing her. Jungkook swallowed a thin lump before getting courage to ask if he has feelings for Ken that she is so upset after finding out about Ken. Are you upset because that guy find partner? Perhaps do you have some feelings for him? He asked with cold voice as he was trying to make himself ready to hear something heartbreaking, but he was ready to sacrifice his love for her happiness. If she found someone for herself and that person is genuinely care about her. Wan looked at him, her brows frowned in confusion as she couldn't believe on her ears while Jungkook was clenching his fists to control his emotions. What are you saying? I don't have anything for him or anyone, she said. The words left from her mouth gave relief to Jungkook's restless heart. He looked at her and wanted to hug her tightly at that moment as her eyes and nose were red due to crying, making her look more cute. He wanted to shower her with kisses but he held himself. Then why are you upset and crying over a trophy? You can win that after you get absolutely fine. Do you want me to talk in college and tell them to delay the competition? I can do that. It's really simple for me. He asked. The cold voice turned softer and polite than before while Vine shook her head. I don't want you to do anything, but I don't want Ken won in this competition because of him. I'm laying here, she said in crying voice. Then let me broke his legs too. Vine looked at him with wide eyes as she didn't expect him to say this. No, I don't want to do Jungkook. Don't do anything, please. I am just feeling disappointed by myself. I really wanted to perform because this chance only comes once in 3 years. I wanted to get the trophy like my mom did when she was in college. She expressed her feeling first time in front of Jungkook while he was hearing her each and every word attentively, his eyes never leaving her for once when she was speaking. I got you, Ryan. Now please stop crying. He wiped her tears with his thumb. or I will kiss you, he thought as a small smile appeared on his lips while Vine nodded. You are good when you make my bodyguards run behind you and when you make them wear your cartoon headbands, he said while smiling made her eyes widen. He told you that? She pouted a little, looking at him while he chuckled before nodding. Now lay down and try to sleep, he said as he helped her to lay down and fix her blanket before he also lay beside her and without saying a word, Vine slightly turned and hugged him, made him hold his breath. He slowly looked at her hand that was on him. He felt nervous and excited at the same time. A blush crept on his cheek. When he slowly pulled her a little closer by her waist, very carefully, and hugged her back, made Vine's heart jump in her chest. She felt butterflies. She was internally screaming with the overflow of new emotions. Good night, he whispered and closed his eyes while Van was controlling her scream. She didn't expect him to hug her back. He was so careful and reserved back then, but now that she told him that she has no feelings for anyone, maybe that changed something in him. She was happy, and somehow these new happenings made her forget about the trophy and dance. They both fall asleep in each other's embrace peacefully for the first time. Can you tell me what's going on? Where are you taking me? She asked when Jungkook tied a silk cloth on her eyes. It's a surprise, so why should I tell you? By the way, you are looking very beautiful. He whispered near her neck, made her feel butterflies. She felt goosebumps all over her body as his hot breath tickled on her neck. Thank you. You are also looking handsome. She breathed out, lacking with words. Due to their closeness and shyness, really am I? I hear you saying I'm a oldie. He slowly said after tying up the knot as he fixed her hair. His finger brushed over her shoulder, giving her shivers. I didn't mean that. You are just 28, but because you act all grumpy and cold, I call you oldie. She said, playing with her fingers. In nervousness, her already blushed cheeks got more red due to embarrassment, while Jungkook let out a chuckle looking at her in the mirror. Oh, means you think I'm young and handsome, so do you think we look good together? He asked, knowing she was dying due to shyness, but he was loving it the way she was blushing at his teasing. Vine smiled shyly while nodded, as she couldn't able to make words. It was too much for her poor heart. I would love to hear that from your mouth, but it's fine in this way also. He whispered and she gasped when Jungkook suddenly picked her up from the chair. What are you doing? Put me down, Jungkook, she said, getting panicked. Her heart started to beat faster than before. You can't walk, you know that, right? I have to take you while carrying you up in my arms wherever I'm taking you, so cooperate, dear wifey, and hold me. He said, walking out of the room while she was blushing mess, as she slowly placed her hand around his neck and decided to keep her mouth shut because she didn't want to die before getting to know what Jungkook had planned for her. Why it's so quiet, Jungkook? She asked as there was no sound coming from anywhere while Jungkook opened her blindfold. You will soon get to know, he slowly said and snapped his finger. The lights are on. Midwine surprised it was dance stage where she wanted to perform 3 days before. She looked towards Jungkook while he smiled, holding her hand tightly as she was standing on her one feet. You don't have to worry about anything, just trust on me, he whispered as he held her by her waist, pulled her closer so that she don't have to stand on her both feet to maintain her balance. The audience present there clapped and cheered for them as the music started to play and Jungkook started dancing, Midwine more surprised. She circled her arms around his neck and looked deep in his eyes while Jungkook smiled. Just talk to them and they held this competition today. Don't worry, I didn't threaten anyone, he said as he swiftly made her stand on her one feet and spun her around before again taking her in his embrace. While her heart didn't calm everything that was happening, she just dreamed of it. But now that it's all happening in real, she couldn't help but feeling surprised. You know how to dance? Now I know I learned that just for you, he said, their bodies moving in sign on the beautiful slow music. Why you care so much for me? She asked, looking into his eyes just to find love for her. His eyes were filled with love and gratitude. Because I love you, she gasped as he pulled her closer with a little force that she bumped on him while he securely held on to her waist. Her feet never touched the floor for once. You wanted this, so I thought why not you perform with your life partner, he said as a kiss on her cheek made her heart drop and eyes widened at his sudden action. Are you serious? People are watching us. she whispered as he glared at him with blushing cheeks, made him laugh. I am allowed to do that. You are my wife. She smiled when he said that. Thank you so much, Jungkook, for coming into my life and making my dreams come true. At this moment, she didn't care if they win or not because she won him, the love of her life. She was living the moment her parents once lived, and she dreamed to recreate this with her partner. I'm glad that you come into my life and pull me out from the darkness. They were lost in each other, their eyes speaking love language. I didn't know you can be romantic, Mr. Husband, she teased him while he leans near her ear. Wine felt the rush of adrenaline, the thousand of butterflies in the stomach that made her scream in his arms. The music stopped, the hall echoed with loud cheers and claps, made them come back to the reality, but Jungkook didn't left her waist, but pick her up and walk her out to make new memories.